Vulnerability and authenticity are things we're doing increasingly well here at Greater Chicago Church, but they're definitely buzzwords. And so I just wanted to speak into what healthy vulnerability and healthy authenticity look like. So as you're continuing to hear those words, you can feel a little less confused about it. So vulnerability is about letting people see what's going on inside of you. The other little trick of words that we like to use is intimacy. Into me, you see. This idea that I'm willing to walk around without this huge armor on, pretending I have it all together. Because what that does is it helps people feel like you're unapproachable and that you're walking in this perfect world, and ultimately they're going to compare themselves to you and not feel encouraged by you. So as Christians, we need to be willing to be vulnerable. However, we need to do this with healthy boundaries and appropriate social intelligence. Vulnerability is not about just walking around and spewing your emotions everywhere and calling it vulnerability. Now, emotions are neither positive nor are they negative. They're either pleasant or unpleasant, high energy, low energy. There's no good or bad emotion. I'm not saying that. However, our emotions do affect other people. So if you're managing your emotions well and seeing your emotions and remaining curious about them and honoring them as part of being human, and you're walking around with vulnerability, that's what we want to see. There's an appropriate level of vulnerability depending on what setting you're in and who you're leading and who you're partnering with and where you are. And it's really good. Like I said, it's really good to show certain parts of yourselves intentionally. Authenticity is about knowing who you are and being that person regardless of the setting. And again, social intelligence and being socially intelligent is going to teach us that in certain settings, we can still be authentic, but not open in a way that makes us uncomfortable. Or makes other people uncomfortable. So we need to be thinking about authenticity as, am I living out who I am and who I know myself to be in all different compartments or settings in my life? And if I'm seeing a disparagement in my different settings and different roles, that's when I really need to go back to Jesus and need to go back to God and think about, why is this break in authenticity happening? Why am I putting on a show here? Why am I shutting this part of myself down here? It's usually because there's some hurt in there. So just wanted to give you a little bit more insight on vulnerability and authenticity. Remember, we want to be walking around with the armor of God, not with this false armor of perfection. It's just not a good way to live. You don't get what you need in connection with other people, and other people get a false sense of who you are. People can smell fake. So we really need to be learning how to be vulnerable and authentic in a real way that the world needs.